Hey everybody, this is your daily dose of all things royal. Well, hello, my gorgeous, good looking friends. I am back and with a short video today, bringing you something that had been released in the United States as of yesterday. It is Us Weekly's October 31st issue. And look who's on the cover. As many of you know, that Us Weekly is a Sussex-friendly magazine. Actually, it's a Meghan Markle-friendly magazine. We all know that Meghan has leaked stories to this magazine in the past. So I'm going to go ahead and read it. And I would like to know who you think the sources are giving this information. It's titled Harry Forced to Choose. According to a source, Harry, 38, has been softening some of the content of his book so as to not further upset the likes of his father, King Charles III, Charles's wife, Queen Consort Camilla, or the Prince and Princess of Wales. Harry is well aware his memoir and the documentary will both be heavily scrutinized, says the source, so he's treading carefully. But he's caught between a rock and a hard place because Meghan, 41, doesn't want him to backtrack too far. Let me interject here. I'm sure there is an element of Meghan inserting this rumor about the William affair. And there's no doubt in my mind she has influenced Prince Harry in somehow alluding or telling it, but putting the blame on him for exposing it. Of course, her hands have to be clean. As we have seen, she likes to throw out those grenades and then hides behind whoever to take the fall. We saw it with Scobie. She threw him under the bus. Everything that has happened, she could turn around and say, well, Harry wanted to take us out of here and leave. So now this whole mess that we are seeing right now will somehow be put onto Harry and it being his entire fault. Harry and Meghan went into this new life promising that they wouldn't be silenced, explains the source. If Harry plays nice and heavily censors the book and their Netflix series, Meghan will feel like he's picking his family over her. And that's the problem right there. Harry should not be put in a position to have to choose his family or his wife who has lied and damaged and hurt so many people. But when Satan has its grip, there's not much you can really do about it. Just gotta pray for him and hope that God steps in and pulls him out of this shit. There's talk she's already issued an ultimatum to make him choose between her and the monarchy. Adds a second source, Harry's very torn right now between Meghan and his family. Well, okay, let's pause for a second. Who do you think these two sources are? Do we think Meghan is one of them? And do we think maybe Flying Monkey, Scrappy Doo? Or do we think Harry is behind this? Just some thoughts. Anyhow, continues on. Much has changed since Harry first put pen to paper, promising an accurate and wholly truthful look at his life. He had an undeniably close bond with his grandmother, and without her, he could easily lose favor with everyone left. King Charles has made it clear that he's tired of the drama, says the first source, noting that the 73-year-old may ban Harry from the coronation, which is set to take place on May 6, 2023. And of course, they put in parentheses the date of Harry's son Archie's birthday. Like, that was really an important factor in choosing that date. Right. Harry can either bite his tongue or come out swinging and risk being disinvited from the coronation and future royal events. Charles has also yet to decide about the official titles for Archie and Meghan and Harry's daughter, 16-month-old Lily. Charles is waiting to see what happens before deciding on that, says the source. Harry knows there's a lot at stake. If he goes down a nuclear path in his book, adds the second source, there will be no going back. So from what this sounds like they have quoted, could the potential sources be the British journalists, like either Katie Nicholl, or I could possibly see it being Kinsey Schofield. The article continues. There's no way to avoid ruffling some feathers. Harry feels he has the right to speak his truth. It may be uncomfortable and not easy to read, but it's true and what people want to hear, states a third source. Harry's been accused of making changes to the Netflix show because it doesn't align with the stories from his life that he writes about in his book. But the source says whispers of him making crazy edits to the series have been blown out of proportion, adding, there are certain things the monarchy isn't going to like. It's honest and open, but it's not scandalous. Netflix wants to air the show in early December. That's why it's getting heated because everyone is racing to get it done. I hope you guys are keeping track. We have 3 sources now that have so far contributed to this article. The article continues, Meghan is pushing Harry to take a hard line. She wants him to be transparent about how she was treated and how messed up royal life can be, says, get this, a 4th source. Echoes the 3rd source, Meghan moved to America to have a voice, and she feels it's important for Harry to speak up about matters close to his heart, including his family. He's not sure he can take the risk. Harry wants to pay tribute to his grandmother, explains the 1st source, and he can't be seen taking nasty swipes against his father or the firm in general. It will deeply affect his relationship with the monarchy moving forward. Harry is trying to keep the peace on both sides. Harry is so grateful to Meghan for her input, and they make all of their big decisions together. So there are pros and cons to consider, says the 1st source. The 1st source sounds kind of like Harry or Meghan. Obviously, it's about Meghan, so we know that Harry's going to be flattering of her, but at the same time, I could see Meghan be flattering of Meghan. He doesn't want to shy away from his principles or look weak, but he also wants to be on good terms with his family in the UK. And this is according now to the 3rd source. Harry, Charles, and Prince William are on a path towards healing. The funeral wasn't as contentious as people think. So, in closing, the article says he's trying to find some middle ground. Harry is having trouble striking a balance between sharing his whole truth and not destroying his family, says the 4th source. He wants to make sure his memoir isn't too watered down and that the documentary has as much detail and no holds barred honesty as possible, adds the source. The key is figuring out how to compromise. And that's the end of this cover story. So, what do you guys think? Who are sources 1, 2, 3, and 4? Do we think that a source could be Meghan Markle? I think so. Do we think a source could be Prince Harry? I think so. Do we think a source could be Katie Nichol or Omid Scobie? Yeah, I think so. Or could this all be just journalists that they pulled quotes from various British newspapers and tabloids? Something to think about. However, keep in mind, Us Weekly is Meghan Markle friendly, and she has known to be submitting leaks to this magazine in order to promote herself and this facade over the last 5 years. We have to think about who are the people that have influence within this magazine. I think Katie Nichol is one of them. I think that they pulled information from a tabloid or newspaper in Great Britain. And I also think that the Harkles had some involvement with it. The actual journalist that wrote this article, her name is Jamie Harkin. And here she is. And interesting to see that on her LinkedIn profile, she has worked many years at In Touch Weekly. So just let's keep this in perspective. Us Weekly and In Touch Weekly never had a road into the royal family until Meghan Markle came onto the scene, because this woman needs to put articles out every 2 seconds with anybody who's desperate to take it. So there's no doubt in my mind that at some point Jamie had crossed paths with the Sussex camp. But it's interesting to hear because it does sound a little bit like Harry is contemplating, truly contemplating how he plays this. Possibly could have leaked some of this information is because he's looking to make his wife happy. It sounds like him. And then also the one they quoted saying that Meghan Markle has given Harry an ultimatum. I bet she did. I bet they're fighting like crazy right now. I also believe that there is some truth to this. I mean, this definitely may not be the full entire truth. I have a suspicion that it's a lot worse than this picture is being painted. Only time will tell. If she is giving an ultimatum, I think Harry needs to call her bluff and choose his family. Harry needs to remember that the crown always wins. See, at this moment, Meghan Markle thinks that she can take on the monarchy and bring it down herself, but she hasn't felt the wrath if she does try something. Harry is the one that needs to make the decision to separate from this toxicity. Because the moment he does, then forget it. Meghan Markle doesn't have a chance. Everything is going to come out. And when that day comes, it's going to be glorious. The royal family is aware that Harry is a loose cannon, and it's not so much being afraid of what they will say, it's more of still protecting Harry from destruction of himself. But clearly, this article positions Meghan as being the stronger force and Harry being very wishy-washy on not knowing what to do. So, I am leaning towards Meghan having something to do with this because they are known to put stuff out into the public to gauge the audience's reaction as well as sort of force the hand. And perhaps this is the way that Meghan is forcing Harry's hand. But regardless, everything is smelling a little desperate for the Sussexes. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. Who do you think sources 1, 2, 3, and 4 are? I will be back soon with more content. And until then, be safe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
It was such a fraud.